Shout out to all y'all. Shout out to the brother, first and foremost, the one that wrote this book here, Rudolph Winsall, Ancient Black History. I'm gonna prove to y'all that the real Jews are black, and gonna read just a couple of lines, and to show y'all that when people go around and they try to say that Christ is a so-called white man and all that kind of stuff, that's not true. So I'm gonna prove just a little bit to show you all that the original people of humanity was black. The original people of the Bible are black people. All right, let's get into it. It's called the original black Jews. The original, all Hamites. The Hamites would be the so-called African tribes, which would come out of the youngest son of Noah, Ham. Original, all Hamites, which were the Africans that had the Israelites in slavery. And the Shemites were Shem. The name of Abraham was Abram before he was referred to as Abraham. The three Hebrew patriarchs were Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This Jacob begot 12 sons, who later fathered the 12 tribes of Israel. Abraham was the father not only of the Hebrew Israelite nations, but also of the Arab nations. Now, the Abraham fathered the many nations, but God has a chosen people. Now, the mother and the grandmother of the Arabian nations were black Hamite, Egyptian women, and the father of the Arabian nations were Abraham, Ishmael, black Shemites. At a certain time, there was hard feelings between Sarah and Abraham's wife, and Hagar, Sarah's maidservant, to Hagar, fled from Abraham's house and dwelt in the wilderness. Josephus and Jewish historians wrote that Ishmael married an Egyptian woman. Now, those Egyptians, they were another race. They were like very dark people. When Israel started to intermingle with these people right here, the Egyptians, that's when the Israelites, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans became much darker, who is the original people of this land. Woman. As a result, he begot 12 sons, Nabijah, Kedar, Adbeel, Mitsam, Mishmat, Dumah, Massa, Hardor, Tema, Jator, Naphish, and Kidamath. These 12 sons became 12 tribes and inhabited the region from the Euphrates to the Red Sea. In the Arabian Peninsula, this country is known today as the Arabians. To these who do not believe that the ancient Arabians were black, I would like to make one point crystal clear. If your grandmother and grandmother were black, I am positive that you would have many colored futures. What it meant is that if your mother and grandmother were black, I am positive that you would have many colored futures. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the 12 tribes of Israel were all black people. This I shall prove to you by a gradual method. So I can go on and let me go and let me see if I can get that leprosy law in Leviticus chapter 13. Let's see if I can do that. Leviticus chapter 13. Leviticus 13, 5, 12, 13. Here we go. Leviticus chapter 13. It said, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, and a scab, or a bright spot, it be in the skin, and his flesh like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto Aaron the priest, or unto one of his sons the priest. And the priest shall look upon the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, see that? The hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall pronounce him, and the priest shall look upon him and pronounce him unclean. Now, this, if you studied the book of Leviticus, it's going into the leprosy law, right? It's going into the law where if you look in another chapter, we're going to get off into that. I'm not going to get off into it right now. Y'all remember Naaman went to Gaza. I think his name was Gaza. He went to the city where the tribe of Japheth, I think he went against God, and his skin became leprous as snow, white as snow, right? So that means that at one time, this proves right here that the Israelites are black, because when people sin, when you had a contagious disease, it was considered you had to separate yourself from the camp. You couldn't be around other people or other Israelites in the camp if you had that disease like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons why that the so-called white man and the white woman, they discriminate against so-called Hispanics, blacks, and Native Americans and people of color. You see what I'm saying? Because they know the history of what's going on. All right, I'll stop it right there. Y'all check this. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section of this here. All right, I'm out.